What many people are looking for in a relationship is they're looking for themselves. And they don't understand they're looking in the wrong direction. We look for fortification and reinforcement, affirmation of our sense of ourselves. And we feel it's so much based on other people and how other people perceive us, and we perceive them in this whole relationship model and relationship dynamic. And we feel that somehow this is going to bring us fulfillment. And we're each desperate in our own way to, you could say, use other people, to take advantage of other people in some way that will help me fortify my feeling of self, my sense of I, and my worthiness, my being, my well-being, my fulfillment. And all of this is not true. None of that is true. We don't need that. That's not what relationships need to be about. This is a big topic. What is a relationship? Why do we need a relationship? Why do we want a relationship? What does being what we call in a relationship or in a marriage, what does that do for us? What does that bring? Does it bring anything spiritual? Or is it just physical? Is it just psychological? Is it just all about procreation? This is nature using us to procreate the species, keep the species going. This whole thing about relation, now I'm in a relationship and you're in a relationship with me, all of this is a search for identity in most cases. And this, before a relationship can become something else, we have to see that we don't need anyone else. In fact, nobody else can affirm our being. Nobody else can make it stronger. Nobody else can even touch it. Our innermost being, nobody can even touch that. It is already secure. It's just that it has become attached to this feeling of I relative to how other people view us, or we imagine they view us, relative to how we imagine ourselves. It's all backwards. It's all messed up. What can happen, though, is a person or two people can realize, you know what? You are neither my problem nor my solution. I am my own being, and you are your own being. And we can come together, and our beings can intermingle. This is the highest meaning of physical union, true love-making. It's representational of the commingling of pure being. But it manifests itself through the physical world, through the physical body, through sensation and through emotion, love and tenderness and pleasure, physical pleasure. But what happens is all of those things start to happen without the consciousness, without the true beingness, understanding itself in both people. And then both people become identified, and now it becomes about us. And this is why when relationships break up, there's often an urge, and it's either a psychological urge or a physical urge, or both, to get the person back. I either want to have them back physically, again, even just for a few minutes or for an evening, or I want to have them back psychologically, emotionally. I want to be with them again and sit with them and cry with them and hold their hand, whatever it is. It's psychological and or physical. And it's the ego feeling at a loss and wanting to fill the void through this connection to the other person. And this is, of course, why people have a rebound relationship. They'll go out of a relationship, they'll feel the void, and then they'll very quickly just sort of take anything that comes along. Men and women can sense it in the other. Oh, that person is now kind of available. That person is now vulnerable. That person is now kind of easy prey. They may not think those thoughts, but instinctively and emotionally this is perceived. I know you are trying to resolve this, and the resolution is inside. There's not even a knot to be untangled on the outside. You can just drop that entire knot. People go to therapy to try to untie the knots of relationships. And never is this deeper core of being addressed. Inner presence. No one can ever possess our being, and we cannot possess someone else's being. Can there be commingling? Yes. Can that be enjoyable? Can that be mysterious? Yes. but it's never meant to be for the purposes of establishing identity or for reinforcing a sense of identity. And then when two human beings come together as human beings, each well-established, secure in their own being, now there's no longer a neediness. There's no longer a need to be attended to, and there's no longer a need to attend to. There's no longer a need to be possessed. There's no longer a need to possess or to control or be controlled. There is simply the pleasure of each other's being. There's still human foibles. There's still human tension. We're under pressure at different times. But this can all be quickly neutralized when there are two people well established in their being, because all of that's seen through for what it is. And there's no need to compensate for a sense of self. The more you understand this, the more you go into yourself and realize your own presence of being. That's the resolution. Because there is no problem and there is no solution, but there is resolution, and it is consciousness, it is awareness. It's so strange we don't realize that is what we really are. This body and this mind are so persuasive, so convincing, and the awareness in us does not cognize itself as having any substance, having any meaning, having any reality. But it is so much more real. All the rest of this is temporary. And we fail to see that sometimes until it's too late.